My name is Emily Johnson, 27 years old. I'm a housewife in my third year of marriage to my high school classmate, Mark. We've had a good relationship, and the word infidelity was never part of our life. I never imagined that infidelity would be the reason we'd end up separating. Have a good day, be careful. You're coming home late again today, right? Yeah, my boss invited me out for drinks, so I'll be late. Feel free to go to bed first as usual. In our marriage, we had clear roles. Mark worked while I, a full-time housewife, took care of all the household chores. That day, after seeing Mark off, I cleaned every corner of the house as usual. But there was something different that day. I cleaned his study. Leave my study alone. I have work stuff in there, and some things can't be moved around. Usually, Mark would say this and keep me out of his study. But that day, I happened to see inside through the open door. It was messy, far from clean. Seriously. I didn't clean it because he promised he'd do it regularly. How can he find anything for work in this mess? Well, I'll just tidy up what's visible. Mark had been going on more business trips and working weekends lately. Probably why he couldn't keep his study in order. Seeing the study in such a mess, I decided to clean it, thinking it would be helpful. Then I found something. What's this? A red diary I've never seen before. While tidying his desk, I came across an unfamiliar red diary. I usually don't snoop through my husband's belongings, but that time, I felt an overwhelming urge to open and check inside. Despite feeling guilty, I opened the diary. What's this? What does it mean? Inside was a photo of Mark holding a baby, looking close and happy with a woman. And why is Jessica in this photo with him? That woman was Jessica, a classmate who attended the same high school as my husband and I. Jessica was a friend I had studied with in the same class for 3 years during high school. But she wasn't someone Mark was close to. So why was she in a photo with him holding a baby? The way they're dressed, it looks like a baptism. Whose child is this? And why is he holding it? A wave of unpleasant thoughts crossed my mind, and I kept looking through the diary for clues. Then, I discovered an even more shocking truth. The diary had entries of a child's name and birthday, and on dates Mark said he was on business trips, there were notes about going out with Jessica. It seemed clear from the diary that this child was Mark's. Why would he? How could he? At the end of the diary, there was an unmarked brown envelope. Inside was a completed divorce form. A divorce form. Is he planning to divorce me? After doing all this, he's been living like nothing happened. Thinking I'm clueless. I won't forgive this. I'll make him regret this. With these thoughts, I vowed revenge against Mark, who was planning to betray me. But Mark, unaware of all this, came home as if nothing was wrong. I'm home. Man, what a tiring day. Welcome back. You're later than I expected. Yeah, my boss got pretty drunk, kept pushing drinks on me. I couldn't easily slip away. Hey, were you really out drinking with your boss? Huh? Yeah, but why? You doubting me? No, not doubting. Just thought you always seemed to have a hard time staying out late. Alright then. Oh, by the way, on the 23rd and 24th this month, I'm going golfing overnight with my boss. Take care of the house, will you? Overnight? Just the two of you? Yeah. My boss is a guy, you know. You've met him before, Mr. Johnson, my direct supervisor. He was the one I was drinking with today. Nothing like what you might be thinking. Okay, got it. What's up with you today? You're acting different. Usually, you're more supportive. I feel bad leaving you alone on weekends so often. But it's important for my career to get in the boss's good graces. Forgive me, okay? Mark spoke to me insincerely. But I knew it was all lies. The dates he mentioned matched the plans in the diary, a trip to the amusement park with Jessica and their child. So, I decided to make that day my day of revenge. It's more despairing after a happy memory. I thought. What do you mean forgive me? I know everything. Forget about me and your time, just go and have fun without any worries. Okay. I will. But I won't forget about you. I'll bring back a souvenir, so look forward to it, okay? Mark said, patting my head. Sure, I'm looking forward to it. And I'll prepare something surprising for you in return when you get back. Something surprising? Wonder what it is, looking forward to it. It's a surprise for the day. I think you'll be very shocked. Then, about a month passed. I acted as if nothing was wrong and continued life as usual. And soon, the day of action arrived. I'm off then. Call me if you need anything. I might not respond right away since I'll be with my boss, but I'll try to keep an eye on my phone. Okay, got it. Take care. Mark, unaware that I knew, left for the amusement park, carrying an unnecessary golf bag. He probably planned to stash it somewhere, change, and head to their house. Suppressing a laugh at his elaborate ruse, I began my final preparations for revenge. 2 days after he left, Mark returned home and discovered my surprise, frantically calling me. Oh, come on, Emily. Where are you right now? What's up with the house? What does this mean? What? Didn't I say? I had a surprise waiting for you when you got back. Are you surprised? Surprised? Everything of yours is gone. It's like I'm living alone in this house. That's right. From now on, you'll be living alone in that house. Not just like living alone, but actually living alone. What? What are you talking about? We're a married couple. Married? What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. Hiding a completed divorce form? Weren't you planning to live alone? Oh, I'm wrong, not alone, but with Jessica and your child, right? You didn't look in my study, did you? Sorry, but I've seen everything. The photos of you, Jessica, and the child looking so happy together, the entries about lying to me about business trips and working weekends to go out. I've seen it all. What? I told you not to go into my study, didn't I? Well, it was such a mess. I thought you couldn't find anything in that chaos. I thought I was doing you a favor by cleaning, but I ended up finding something unexpected. Don't meddle in things that don't concern you. We had a deal that you wouldn't clean my study. And snooping through someone's things, that's just lacking basic decency. Ha! You, talking about decency after cheating and fathering a child? Wow, just wow. What, you're calling me stupid? You weren't golfing with your boss today, were you? How was the first trip to the amusement park with the three of you? It's the season for special parades, right? Oh, how I wish I could have gone. Are you kidding me? Who's kidding? You've been deceiving me for over a year. I never thought you'd do something like this with my high school friend. I thought we were a happy couple these past few years. Seems I was the only one who thought so. So, as you wished, I signed that completed divorce form and submitted it to the office today. We're not a couple anymore. You're free to go back to them. Wait, just wait a minute. You're saying you submitted the divorce form while I was away? Yes, I did. Is there a problem? You wanted a divorce, didn't you? You even filled out your part and stamped it. Since you couldn't bring yourself to give it to me, I submitted it for you. Mark, unaware that his trip to the amusement park was discovered, returned home with a random souvenir bought at the station. He was greeted by an empty room with only my belongings gone and the fact that his wife knew everything and had submitted the divorce papers. I understand, I was wrong. Please come back home. Let's talk. I was wrong. As if that's some revelation. There's nothing left to talk about. You'll just make excuses, won't you? No, it's not like that. I don't have the time or interest to listen to such trivial things. I don't care why you cheated or how things turned out this way. It's not worth hearing. How can you say that? Do you understand how I felt since the day I found out you were planning to divorce me? How painful it was to smile at you, acting all innocent, when I knew everything. But it doesn't matter anymore. Since that day, I found a job within a month and moved to a new house. No matter what excuses you come up with, I'm never coming back to you. You wanted this outcome, so shouldn't you be happy? Why are you panicking? Were you worried about me confronting you with the divorce papers? That's not. By the way, I already contacted your parents earlier, so I'm sure they'll be getting in touch soon. What? You told my parents? Of course. We were a married couple. It's only right to inform them of our divorce. What did you say to them? I told them everything I saw, just as it was. And what did they say? If you're so concerned about your parents' reaction, why don't you ask them yourself? How can I just? You know how strict my parents are, Emily. So what? That's not my problem anymore. That's how it is. Take care now. Hey, wait! Emily! Emily! I ignored his shouting and hung up the phone. His parents, especially his father, were traditionally strict. He always hated dishonesty and had raised him with the mantra, "Don't trouble others. Be a person who can understand others' feelings." Yet he did the exact opposite, cheating with a friend of his wife and fathering a child. After I hung up, his parents apparently got in touch for a discussion. I had no intention of participating, but for both our families, it was a serious matter. So, 6 of us, including me, him, and both sets of parents, gathered at his parents' house. In the worst atmosphere, a confrontation, more than a discussion, began. He was probably already grilled by his parents. He sat slumped in a chair, looking worn out. So, what were you thinking? Making a child with another woman while you have a wife? Explain everything clearly so everyone can understand, his father demanded. Without fighting back, he resignedly began to explain everything that had happened. It started 2 years ago at the high school reunion. She was originally Emily's friend, and I had no interaction with her in high school. But that day, she approached me. "It's been a while. Remember me?" Yeah, I remember. You're Jessica, Emily's friend, right? I'm glad you remembered. You came to our wedding. Yes. We didn't talk much in high school, but I always admired you, Mark. I'm happy you remember my name. Can I have your contact? Maybe we could have dinner together sometime? Well, but you're married too, right? It's a bit, especially since you're Emily's friend. If no one knows, it's fine, right? This is normal. You and Emily are too uptight. It's not like I'm suggesting anything shady. So, just between us, okay? He fell for her words and started meeting her secretly. And eventually, it led to a physical relationship. You know, I think I'm pregnant. I was feeling unwell and went to the hospital, and they said I'm about 5 weeks along. What? I haven't been with my husband for a while since we're planning to divorce. Could it be? Yes, this child is yours. I never imagined I could have a child with you, whom I've always admired. I'm so happy. Will you come with me to the next checkup? What would you prefer, a boy or a girl? What should we name them? Wait a minute. We're both married. If this gets out, I'll be in trouble. Why are you saying that? I thought you'd be happy. No, it's not that. So, you're not going to take responsibility? Responsibility? Marrying me and becoming the father of this child, what else? But, I don't intend to divorce my wife. You are the one who said we weren't doing anything wrong. This is tough. We agreed to this relationship knowingly. Was it just a game to you? I was preparing to divorce my husband to be with you. That's terrible. If you won't take responsibility, I don't know what I'll do. I'll tell Emily, our classmates, everyone at work. Okay. Just calm down. So, you'll divorce Emily and marry me? All right. And so, he was coerced because of the child, agreeing to the birth. He started preparing for our divorce, as he explained. Do you realize what you've done? I know. But I had no choice. She threatened me, saying she didn't know what she'd do if I didn't take responsibility. What was I supposed to do? You had no choice? Are you kidding? Yes, Jessica approached you, but you could have firmly refused. It's your responsibility too. Why are you trying to put all the blame on her? I'm not trying to escape. Just what? If you have something to say, say it. I didn't want to divorce you, Emily. I was just being threatened by Jessica. I never thought about divorcing you, I swear. I didn't want to prepare that divorce form. Believe me, Emily. You're the only one for me. Really, you didn't want to divorce me? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. I have a responsibility towards the child, so I plan to support them with my salary. But I want to be with you, Emily. Please, give me another chance. He apologized to me, saying all that. However, I knew there was still something he was hiding from me. So what's this then? I presented a brown envelope in front of everyone. It's an envelope I found in his study when I entered. I thought it was unrelated to the divorce papers at first, but when I looked inside, I was shocked. It contained fabricated evidence of my infidelity, made to look like I was cheating. What? It seems he hired someone to set up this fake affair. There was a receipt and a business card inside too. His claim that he didn't want to divorce me is a complete lie. He probably lied just to get through this situation. Isn't that right? What do you have to say for yourself? Why would you do such a thing? Well. Mark, can you please stop hiding things? It's going to come out eventually. Just give up and tell us everything. Confronted by everyone, he was in a desperate situation. Realizing there was no escape, he began to tell the truth. Honestly, before the child was born, I really hadn't thought about divorcing Emily. But after the child was born, when I saw my own child's face, I started thinking about leaving Emily to live with Jessica and the child. And when it came to broaching the subject of divorce, I didn't know how to tell Emily. Just asking for a divorce wouldn't work, she would definitely want to know why. Claiming irreconcilable differences would be obviously false since we've been getting along well. And I couldn't possibly tell the real reason. I couldn't face Emily or our parents if I did, That's not the real reason, is it? The main reason was that you didn't want to pay me alimony for cheating. That's why you wanted to make it look like I was the one who cheated, right? No, that's not. It's true, isn't it? You wanted to claim alimony from me and live happily with the three of you. Isn't that so? How could you? I can't believe this. What are you talking about? I wouldn't do such a thing. Then why were you so panicked when I quietly filed the divorce papers? You couldn't confront me with your fabricated evidence of infidelity, right? You wouldn't be able to claim alimony then. Well, too bad for you. You were supposed to receive alimony from me and live happily as a family of three. You thought I didn't know? So I was, well. If you have a rebuttal, then say it. I have all the evidence I need. No matter what you argue, I can counter it. Go ahead. Unable to argue any further, he just hung his head in silence. So, it seems there's nothing more to say. Well then, here's something from me. What's this? It's a claim for alimony, obviously. I had a lawyer prepare it in advance. I was planning to send it, but since we're having this discussion, it's perfect timing. He cautiously looked over the claim for alimony. What? $80,000? For just a couple of years of infidelity? That's an outrageous amount for alimony. What do you think you did in those 2 years? Married people making a child. It's not just some affair. Show some respect. But $80,000 is a huge sum, I can't possibly pay that. I'll have expenses for the child too, it's just impossible. What does that have to do with me? The money for the child and the alimony are separate matters. If you're worried about the child's expenses, find it from somewhere else. What do you mean? Are you telling me to get into debt? I didn't say that. But it's really not my concern. You're really heartless, $80,000. You must be joking. Ridiculous? You're the one who's ridiculous. This is all the result of your own actions. That's right, Emily is correct. Child expenses and alimony are completely different matters. Using the child as an excuse not to pay alimony is utterly absurd. But enough with your buts. Your only task now is to pay Emily the alimony and apologize sincerely. This is no excuses. If you can't do it, we're cutting ties. We didn't raise you to be like this. Leave now. Deflated by his father's angry words, he accepted and agreed to pay the alimony. However, there was still unfinished business for me. That was my revenge on Jessica, his affair partner and my former friend. I immediately sent a claim for alimony to Jessica as well. But Jessica, who approached a married man knowing his status, was not going to comply easily. A few days after receiving the claim, she called me with complaints. I heard everything from him. Our affair is all out in the open now. But why are you demanding alimony from me? And such a large amount? Why not? You had an affair with a married man, so it's only natural you're being asked for alimony. But I have his child. So what? Whether you two raise the child or not, that's unrelated to this. It's not unrelated. Raising a child is incredibly hard. We're trying to raise this child together, and I don't have the money to pay you. And? Your point? I'm saying drop the alimony claim. Why is society so harsh on those raising children? If you don't have children, at least support those who do. It's partially your fault he cheated, you should have kept a better hold on him. Don't blame it all on me. How dare you say that? And what's this about society being harsh on parents? That's not even the issue. But, listen, I've heard everything from him too. You pressured him into marriage after the child, threatening him. And yet you object to the alimony claim? That's absurd. Do you still insist you did nothing wrong? I thought you were a friend. You even came to my wedding. Why did you do this? But, it can't be helped. I've liked him since before you two started dating. And then you got together and eventually married. I tried to move on when I saw how happy you two were at your wedding. But at the high school reunion 2 years ago, my suppressed feelings resurfaced. And so, I approached him, and things led to where they are now. And that's why you approached him and pressured him into marriage when you found out about the child. Sigh. We're already divorced, so do whatever you want. It's none of my business anymore. Marry him, don't marry him, that's up to you. But you had an affair while I was still married to him, so you need to take responsibility for that. After that, Jessica couldn't say anything more and eventually hung up without another word. But, perhaps my words struck a chord, as she later agreed to the alimony demand and began making payments. Both my ex-husband and she have been diligently paying the alimony every month. However, I've never been in contact with them since. Months passed, and just as I was getting accustomed to my new life, I unexpectedly ran into my former mother-in-law while shopping. She shared some astonishing news about him. Actually, after you two divorced, they got remarried. But you'll be surprised to know, that child wasn't my son's. What? She married my son pretending the child was his. But as the child grew, it was obvious there was no resemblance to my son. He secretly had a paternity test done, and when he confronted her, she confessed the child was actually her ex-husband's. Incredibly, the child in the photo wasn't my ex-husband's, but belonged to her previous husband. He had been completely deceived by her ploy. She thought claiming the child was his would enable her to snatch even a married man. Well, she did manage to, but now their life is a disaster. She's adamant about not wanting a divorce, and my son is furious. They're even facing a divorce trial now. What a situation. But this is his own doing. He was deceived, but he did cheat, after all. Neither my husband nor I support him in this. It's karma for betraying his wife. I'm sorry for burdening you with this story. I just had to tell you when I saw you. Forget about this foolish son of mine and find your own happiness. With that, my former mother-in-law left. Her sharing this story was a kind gesture in her own way. I never saw my ex-husband or his parents again. What kind of life he's living now is beyond my guess, but it's no longer of any concern to me.